Well, according to the American Lung Association, nearly 10% of homes in New Jersey and New York have high levels of radon. That's an invisible, odorless gas that is naturally released from rock, soil, and water and can cause lung cancer. The numbers may sound scary, but there are steps people can take to keep this issue in check. Joining us now is Dr. Jeffrey Pelz, a thoracic surgeon with Hackensack University Medical Center. Doc, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, for everyone's sake out there, I know lots of people are exposed to environmental radon. The concern is the high exposure over time. Are there any groups that are particularly at risk here?
So, yeah, certainly if you are a smoker and are exposed to radon, you can have as high as a 25 times increased risk of developing lung cancer than somebody that's a non-smoker.
Now, I know radon tests go when you're buying a home or whatnot, as far as like high levels. What are the levels that every homeowner or home buyer should consider when they get these results? They'll give you a range of the levels, but anything over 4, it's like picocuries per liter, is something that needs to be addressed. And there are things that can be done to decrease the levels in the home. Now, radon, it's the leading cause of lung cancer for non-smokers. Are there warning signs or symptoms of radon-caused lung cancer?
Really early lung cancer, there's really no symptoms or signs of it. So really the best way to check for that is with a lung cancer screening CAT scan. Some more advanced cancers may have things like a cough, coughing up blood, shortness of breath, things like that. But early detection, you really need to get a CAT scan to check that.
Can I ask you how prevalent this is, as far as, lung cancer, and radon, if you were to kind of put it on a broad scope to give people an idea of just how big an issue this is? Because we've done some stories in the last couple of weeks where there were elevated levels of radon in certain homes. People weren't aware of it. And then, of course, they say to themselves, well, what could this have been doing to myself or my kids?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, as you said, it's the second leading cause of developing lung cancer after smoking, and accounts for about 22,000 deaths per year, and can range from anywhere from 3 to 14% of lung cancers are caused due to radon. And it's a dose-dependent effect, meaning that the higher concentrations that you're exposed to over a prolonged period of time is what increases that risk of developing lung cancer. So a few minutes here or there is not an issue, but certainly over years to decades, that can be a risk for developing lung cancer.
Any parts of the state or the country that are, I guess this is a bigger issue than others? And what causes it, if there is a high concentration area?
Yeah, so it does depend a little bit on the soil and groundwater and things like that. So certain areas in Pennsylvania and in mining areas, it can be as high as a 40% increased risk in general. New York and New Jersey is maybe 10 to 15% elevated risk. But even if you live in a low-risk county, any individual home may still have elevated levels of radon in it. And so it is important to do that testing.
And before I let you go, January is National Radon Action Month. What would you recommend people do while this is on top of their minds?
Well, certainly getting a test. If you live in New York, you can obtain one of these for free through the online websites, government sites. You can get them from online as well. And if you do have elevated levels of radon in your home, again, there are things that can be done to decrease those levels by as much as 99% with increased ventilation and patching up cracks and things like that. So you can contact a certified professional. And then obviously, if you are exposed to radon, especially if you are a smoker and have that high level of risk, then you should get a screening CAT scan. And certainly those are things we perform here at Hackensack University Medical Center.
Excellent. Dr. Jeffrey Pelz, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Great. Thanks for having me.